Hey guys, welcome back to the Holder Project. This week we're going to try to get a little bit done. Did some recording over the weekend. Went to a pretty cool car show in one of the neighboring towns here in Iowa. Normally pulls in a couple hundred cars, 200-300-ish, give or take. So I'll throw some of that in the video here. Car show, here we go. Recording, by the way.
Why you make me do that? How do I turn it off for a minute?
walk out in the shop here and do a little update. I've already been down here for a few hours tonight. Kind of just show you what I did. I didn't really find it necessary to record it. It's just painting little stuff. So got the oil filler neck painted for the fuel pump and all that. This little PVC breather for the valve cover. A couple brackets cleaned up and painted. And also got out the old nut remover 8500 model and welded nuts on the two broken studs in the water pump. Got those out. Took thermostat housing off. Still says Delco. 195. Not sure what year that baby is from. But these are just soaking. As you can see, it's pretty heavily pitted. I just sprayed them down with some of the old, not the freeze off, some of the old rust treatment, just to let those soak and dry in that. What else did we do? Kind of went through and reorganized some of the stuff here. For bolting stuff back together, I need to inspect this fuel pump a little closer. Hopefully I don't need to rebuild it, because a rebuild kit for it is not cheap, and a new pump is also not cheap. So I'm gonna kind of dig into that a little bit. I need to clean up that coil if I use it. Might just put a new one on. I don't know, those don't really go bad that often, so I think we're gonna start with it anyway and try it. Still have not heard back from Caddy Daddy on the water pump impeller situation, which is right here. I need to get those manifolds wire wheeled and painted. I'm just going to do some high temp black. And as I've talked about 850 million times, I have wiring to fix in here still that I'm hopefully going to get to this week. So yeah, just doing what I did tonight. Ate up a couple hours already. And I also, one of you guys commented, and I appreciate it, want to revisit this distributor situation and see if maybe I'm not reading it correctly. Because like I said in the video, it seemed odd having that pointing towards the back and not up here towards number 1. So I'm going to dig into that a little bit more. And also I need to find these two. Those are intake. These 4 are intake. I need 2 more like this. And I don't know where I put them. Probably because the shop's a giant mess. So it'd probably do me some good to actually, you know, come through here and clean the shop. I might be able to find some stuff. So anyway, just wanted to give you a quick update. We're getting real close to getting this engine dumped back in. It's kind of coming down to when Matt and I have time to get together. He did come up yesterday for Father's Day, but we spent that with Dad and the old lady's parents. So didn't get anything done down here. That's kind of the struggle since we live an hour and a half away from each other. Makes it tougher to get together and get some of this stuff done. So I also picked up, well, I didn't pick it up. Last week when I was in Missouri for work, a friend of mine picked up something for me, sitting right out back here on the trailer. But unfortunately it's not a car, but it's something else that we're going to start doing some videos on. So that'll be coming up. That thing's been sitting for quite some time. It's a little rough, but see about getting that running. So Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up tonight, and when I get back down here tomorrow, all the paint should be dry on this stuff, so I can start bolting some of it up. And I also need to address the oil dipstick tube. When that came out, if I can find it, right here. This broke off from when we had it down at the machine shop. So I need to figure out what we're gonna do here. If we're gonna, you can see how rough and ragged the end is on that thing. And they did give me the chunk of it, which, you know, not gonna be able to do much with it, but so we're not missing much. I'm wondering if a guy can just smooth all that out without affecting where the dipstick reads oil level. So I don't know, we have to address that too and get motor mounts and all that stuff set back up. So we've got work to do, some of which can be done in the car. The other stuff I'd like to have done before we put this back in. So, and then like I've told you also, all the rubber lines I've got all new stuff of that. So anyway, we'll keep on chugging and update you as we go. See you tomorrow. All right, well, it's the next day. I'm back down here. Got my furry friend with me. That one over there. Last night, before I left, I wire wheeled these a bit and soaked them in the old Permatex rust treatment. As you can see, I've got a broken stud there to get out. We soaked down the water pump with it too, and got this cleaned up and soaked. So those are, you know, fairly good to go. And I went and got new bolts for the thermostat housing as well. I screwed up though. Here's the problem. This manifold, kind of like my Impala, had the original little temperature controlled flapper deal here to help with engine heat up. And I thought, well, let's replace this gasket and the gasket on the other side of this. And as you can see, yep, it broke. And you can't really weld cast. So I'm gonna have to measure the thickness of this and try to come up with, I don't know, something. Drill a couple holes in it and eliminate that and just bolt the downpipe straight to the bottom of the manifold. So that's cool. Off to a great start tonight. I also real quick threw in these 3 plugs back here, 1, 2, 3, and I put the old Permatex thread sealant with PTFE on them. Tighten those down. I have 1 frost plug left to put in right here. Got to get that guy in there still once I get the engine hanging. Put this plug in here with the thread sealant. Put the oil pressure sensor in with thread sealant. I'm gonna work on getting those cleaned more and painted. Here's the other thing. I'd like to replace those 2 studs because this one's about half gone. But I can tell you right now that if I put a stud remover on those, they're just gonna snap off in the manifold. I can 100% guarantee that. So those might stay. That one over there I need to weld a nut on and back that one out. So let's work on that quick. And then we'll, yeah, finish cleaning that stuff. I was going to also change out my wire. This Forney wire is really, really good stuff. It's way better because I don't use gas. I haven't got gas yet. But this Forney wire is way better than the original Lincoln brand. I don't know if you can see that. The coating on that wire doesn't look too bad. But if you compare that to this Forney wire, this has got a lot smoother, shinier finish on it. And I like how it welds versus the Lincoln. So I'm gonna switch that out quick, and then we're gonna weld a nut onto that manifold and get that taken out. So be with you here in a tickle. All right, nuts welded on. Let's see what we get. We get the wrong size sockets, what we get. Yep. That did not weld as good. Let me find another nut. The trick is finding a nut that's big enough to go around that, like the ones last night. As you can see, the nut fits all the way around the stud. That stud's damn near to the top of the nut. And I don't have anything else down here that I'm finding that is big enough. I'll keep looking. Son of a biscuit. Just not getting a good enough bite on it. Well, I'll be back with you here in a bit. I gotta find a bigger nut. That doesn't sound very good. All right, well, here we are, into the night. Pretty much got beat up all night. But I'll show you where we're at. Intake's on. That's just sitting there for now. This run through, oil filter or oil fill and fuel pump housings in. Don't forget to put your shaft in when you install that. Fuel pump needs to be cleaned. Couple pulleys grinded down and painted. Unsuccessful with that for now. And then spent the rest of the night screwing with the water pump, which also was unsuccessful. You guys ever have those nights where you just get, you know, beat to death and don't get anything done? Oh, that's how this week has been. Tonight was the worst of it. All right, well, we're back down here at the shop. Just wanted to do a quick update. Did some research today, and I found a wonderful forum with lots of wonderful information on it from a guy that's an expert on the water pumps for these Cadillacs. So essentially what it boils down to is, and no offense to the guys at Caddy Daddy, but the rebuild kit that they sell does not specify whether it's for an AC car or a non-AC car. It makes a difference, apparently. So I'll read you what this feller on the line says, and he rebuilds these water pumps basically for a job. So let me get to the nuts and bolts of it here. So there's two differences between the two. The hub is different, as I'll show you here. I should have had these over here, but I didn't. Okay. This is the factory hub. This is the Caddy Daddy hub. If you put those together, you can see that the factory hub is thicker. That's because this car has factory AC on it. The hubs are different. The other difference is the shaft, the bearing shaft. Okay, this is the Caddy Daddy one that's currently in here. The length of the shaft is just a little bit different, I believe on this end only. And the diameter of the shaft. So we'll go ahead and get our, sorry that it's blinking, it needs a new battery. Close it up, zero it out. $626 thousandths. Okay. Here's our old shaft. We'll prop it in there. Zero this back out. $631 thousandths. So, what this guy says is that, let me get to it here. When an impeller or hub separates from the bearing shaft, it's most likely that the rebuilder used a new bearing with a standard size shaft and used the old impeller and hub. When doing so, it is apparent that the diameter of the impeller and the shaft are almost equal. Therefore, there's less grip for the hub or impeller to hold onto the shaft. Some rebuilders try to solve this problem by knurling the bearing shaft or using high-strength Loctite locking fluid. The original shaft size is 626 thousandths. We just measured the one that we got from Caddy Daddy, which was 626 thousandths. So that's the standard non-AC shaft size. I lost my spot. The way this guy does this is with an oversized shaft. So 629 thousandths. So the bearing shaft will be 3 thousandths bigger in diameter, which gives a really good crimp fit. Please keep in mind that the hub and impeller center are mild steel and not through hardened as the bearing shaft is. If worse comes to worse, there's also a bearing shaft that's 629 thousandths. This type of bearing is used from 1949 through 1967 on all Cadillacs and several other brands. So, that being said, we have a standard size shaft that we got from Caddy Daddy, and our original shaft that we pulled out is a different diameter. It's the oversized diameter. So this has probably been rebuilt possibly at some point. However, this is the original impeller. That fits tight. You have to press it on. So, after finding all this out, I did find the website, Cadillac's Limited, I believe is what it was called. And they do offer rebuild kits, full rebuild kits, and they have the option of with AC or without AC. It calls it right out. So the actual housing of the water pump is also slightly different for the AC cars versus the non-AC cars. So the standard shaft will fit, but I believe what they're talking about is the dimension between the face of the housing in relation to how long this shaft is. So getting the AC version of this shaft will bring it, gives you a little extra length here, I believe, and a little bit shorter length on this end. And I can't use this hub anyway because this is an AC car. And if you want to see the difference in the thickness of those, I can real quick zero this out. 380 thousandths on that one. My brother's calling me. $604 thousandths on that. Okay, so there you go. So I ordered the other kit for the AC car with the new impeller. It was about the same price as a rebuild kit from Caddy Daddy without the impeller, so a little bit cheaper. Hopefully I can get a hold of the guys at Caddy Daddy. I called them back again this morning. Waiting for a call back on them. Hopefully I can box all this stuff that they sent me up and send it back to them, get a refund. Otherwise I'm out $105. So water pump mystery solved. So anyway, this is going to be a short video, and I appreciate everybody watching like always. Be sure to like the videos, subscribe, share them, you know, do the thing. Apparently there's like a little bell deal that you can click on that does something. I'm not really sure. But, yep, that's where we're going to wrap it up. And we'll see you in the next one.